My name's Jane Cole and I'm subject leader for law, and that involves I'm responsible for the A-level and also for the BTEC applied law. We have a range of topics that we cover, so any student that's going to choose to do law will learn about the background of our legal system, how laws are made, how they're administered through the courts, how our sentencing system works, how our court system works, in the sense that you learn about magistrates and juries and judges and solicitors, so you get a real background in the law. But we also often we say that we're almost teaching students to work a little bit like a solicitor or a lawyer. So what they do is they'll learn about areas of the law, and then they'll be presented with a scenario, and from the law that they've learned they'll be able to apply that as though they were advising a client. So it kind of gives a sort of taste of what it might be like to study law at university. And we learn about criminal law. In particular, we learn about the non-fatal offences, which are things like grievous bodily harm, and students quite enjoy doing that because that's quite interesting. And we also learn about the fatal offences, which is murder, manslaughter, and we also learn about theft, robbery and burglary. So learning law A-level, you'll cover a range of things in that area of the law, and you also not only learn to apply it but also evaluate it and see what's good and bad about the law as we've got it at the moment. With the civil law, we learn a bit about those kind of areas where say somebody's left a banana skin on the steps on the way into school and the teachers should have cleaned it up and they walk past, and a student falls on it, then they might get hurt, they might break their leg, they might end up with permanent damage. That would be the kind of thing that they could claim for. So we learn about areas of the law like that. So they're very common areas of the law, the areas of the law that probably as a solicitor most people would be working in. And also at Newman College we particularly focus later on the law of contract, partly because it's an easier area of law to do well in the exam, and also because it's such a sort of foundation to a law degree. It's the main area of law that you would be doing if you studied it later. And it's about life, actually. It's about, if I go shopping, I need to know what my rights are. Law BTEC is very, very similar in its content to the A-level. The main difference between the two is that there's a different method of assessment that just suits students, or some students better. Because it's part 50% coursework, 50% exam, there is still the opportunity to test yourself in that exam situation, but you do have the opportunity to take longer over some aspects of the assessment, and therefore you have an opportunity to resubmit and make it the best it can be. There's a little bit of difference in the content, but not much. We do it over similarly like 2 years. The course kind of runs alongside in many ways the A-level, so some students who find the A-level a bit harder have the opportunity to move into the BTEC in year 13 if they feel that's going to be more successful for them. The positive thing about it is I think it really develops legal skills, because it gives them that opportunity to take time over research and write a report. They're writing bibliographies, referencing their work. They're all things that are very useful preparation for university, and it will be a course that would enable students to go on to university and study law as well. Just depends on what the student feels is right for them in terms of the assessment style. Some really want to do the A-level and some think the BTEC's for them, and it's either, they both have worth. I think there would be some universities like Oxbridge or the London School of Economics, etc., that would prefer 3 A-levels, but many universities are changing their entry criteria to include BTECs because they recognise that that's a route that many students are choosing. We also have actually an opportunity that happens for a lot of our students called the Social Mobility Business Partnership, and that's we work with the Social Mobility Foundation locally to develop a work experience for students, and we sort of offer that opportunity. So they go and spend a week working with various businesses in London for a day, and they're based at Amex for another day, and they work with students across the county, and then following on from that they can go the following year at the end of their A-levels for a 3-week internship where they get experience of working in a big top firm in London, and also they're based in King's College London, and they have sort of input from current business and legal students. So I think that business and law direction is one that quite a lot of students choose to take. BTEC results have been very strong, and we've had 100% pass rate, but out of the 23 students that completed the BTEC this year, 9 of them got distinction star, another 7 got distinction, and another 7, the remaining students, all got merit. They all did very well. It was similar from the year before, so both the courses have a track record of being successful and students coming out with grades that enable them to move on.
So I'm the type of student who I obviously got all of the GCSEs that I needed, but I stress myself out a lot when it comes to exams. So I got the GCSEs to do all A-levels, but the amount of stress that I put myself through, I thought with the BTEC you'll only take one exam for like the 2 years, and then the rest is coursework, which I think I'm more of a coursework student than an exam student. I pride myself in my coursework. Like I spend a lot of time on it, and with law I want to go into law. So I thought BTEC was kind of like the best of both worlds of getting the full amount of information from both subjects. So we pretty much, A-level and BTECs, they pretty much get taught the same subjects. It's just BTECs have more coursework. So for some students, that's great. For me, it's the best of both worlds. For others, they're better at exams, which is fair. And law is absolutely amazing. Like, the department is so interesting, and the detail that they put in, it's like we get these amazing learning resources which are so detailed and so helpful, and especially over like lockdown, I thought it was really good to have those resources on hand at all time. And I just think the subject's really interesting. It teaches you a lot about society, just about how like our system works, and I think it opens a lot of doors. So we went on a trip last year to like the Magistrates Court in Brighton, and I know that we were meant to have other trips like meeting with judges and them talking to us. We actually watched a couple cases, which was really interesting. And so there are like trips, which are great. I'm the type of student who kind of like needs to see it to learn. So I think seeing that really actually set it in, like how serious this course is, which is amazing, and how if you take certain courses, like you could end up being in that situation one day, you know, being like the judge, which is amazing. So yeah, I just love the course. I'm really happy with all of the courses that I chose, because not only do they like reflect on me and my interests, but I think they also kind of open your eyes into like the wider situations in life.